So I was thinking about sad relationships that could have formed around me if I had stayed in one spot. But I don't really have relationships, so um, so it's really weird how like people think of you outside your relationships, your real ones, and they expect, oh, you've known them for like a second, and they expect to be this big feature in your life when they weren't actually anything, which is sort of embarrassing when they realize, they've been thinking about all these thoughts about you in some sort of sour way, and then you've just been on your own. You haven't had any affiliation with anyone like them or anyone they knew, and so it's a real big pain in the butt to have someone feel things or have thoughts about you in particular, and that escalate from the moment after they have had some loose affiliation with you, sort of thing. So so I don't really think that's very acceptable. It just goes to show that you might not have met the right people in your life, and you've been hanging near people who probably don't have a lot in life. There must be periods, even if they're around people all the time, there must be periods where they have absolutely nothing to do. It's like me talking to the ceiling. It's like they're talking to themselves and looking in the mirror and wanting to, look into the past. And wow, you're one of the people that they see, and that's like probably a huge disappointment because of the fact that the moment must have been fairly small, and B, without them being in your life, you're in their life directly. It's really some sort of weird, you know, weird thing that's morphing inside themselves away from you. But so it's a little bit of a trek into some sort of wild um a trek into the wild. It's a trekking too far into places you don't know, and obviously, you know, it's has nothing positive that's going to eventually. So, and the more they kind of cling onto something, is the more they cling onto something floating in the air, and they're going to like fall and realize, oh, that was some sort of thing that has, that is some sort of personal issue or something, like a mental problem or some sort of problem that they've put on themselves just because they have no ability to turn their thoughts away from something that they have nothing to do with or whatever. They want to get involved into something that has nothing to do with them and stuff. And yeah, so I think that's really stupid. I don't know why that my life should be so affected by something retarded like that, but um, I shouldn't say the word retarded. It just links me to horrible events that happened in my life. But no, I think it's like the worst thing that can happen to someone, to have their lives affected by something that has nothing to do with them and is someone else's personal issue. But whatever, people are gonna say, "Oh, that stuff happens. You have to go with the roll. You have to roll with the ball." But really, it's just a pain in the butt, So anyway, I have to say, like, what I have to say what, so what, there's a pinprick in my butt. it still hurts, but, no bones broken. Just, this feeling that's throbbing in my skin, but, you know, but my bones are okay. I can still walk, and I still have an lot of opportunities. It's just that I have no idea, like, what on earth I should be doing, but yeah. Personally, I'm glad I don't have anything to do with them because they don't seem like they have anything going in their lives that's any good. If they're gonna, sort of, um, if they want to painstakingly reach out to someone like you, which is not like the most fabulous person in the world, but just someone, obviously, they're gasping in some sort of hole and wanting to crawl out and get some fresh air, and so you're like, it's not so great, but you know, um, but it's obviously a different planet from where they are, and it's like, you know, well, so I'm sick of everyone though. Personally, I validly almost met someone that, I hated it when I was at school, and they're probably had one of the most honest threads of thoughts left, and they're hardly ever there. But so it's really weird, um, that that a lot of, yeah. So it's really weird like that, But for me personally, I'm glad I don't know anyone. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. As far as I'm concerned, some sort of bomb has blown up in the place where I used to live, and everyone's malformed and turned into, some mutant species, really. But and and that's where you leave it. That's where you leave it. But even me, my looks have changed a little bit ever since, something catastrophic. But um, so sure enough, everything can change in some way. But so who's to say, same thing didn't happen to them like 20 years before mine did. So, um, but I'm not really very respectable of other people and people you leave behind. I don't really see why I should turn to them now or ever. Um, so I'm happy just being by myself and doing what I do, but I'm not happy where I am. I'm not happy having had moved here. I was happier where I used to live. I had everything that I wanted to do all over the place, um, and I was having fun, you know, um, because you can you can just endlessly move, around the place, and so many little different places all over the place. Um, but I'm not saying that here's bad. I mean, here you can move to places and everything seems like a different place. But for that, I was in my mode. I knew what I was doing every day, and if I could sit, if I could settle there, I could do it every day. You know, and what on earth am I missing out on? Like just being bored somewhere else. So, um, but here, I mean, I'm not certain I want to live here forever. Like, if I moved into a house, I'm not certain I'd want to be there. Um, so I'm a lot more uncertain because I'm not really having fun, and I don't have my favorite things set in my address book so that I know where on earth I want to go. I'm not very settled. Here I'm open to the idea of opportunities, which could, keep me here for a long time if they opened. But I'm not very keen on settling here because I felt like I was better there in some way because there's more to do and I'm not so bored. And but saying that, I mean, I wasn't in work the whole time for 20 years I was there. So if I got some good job opportunities here, I'd be like feeling like here's probably the better place, even though I'm not having so much fun. If I get work, that's the thing that's cruxing me right now. The work, because I'm not ever working personally, so I'm just stuck at home most of the time. But I'm glad I'm in a house. I love houses as opposed to apartments. I was gonna save up for a house once I was settled in an apartment where I used to live. But now I just want a house, and I realize that they're fun, much better than apartments. They're bigger, and you can spend your whole life, playing around with your house and stuff, and then that's what you realize is fun about a house. It's a fun place to live, as opposed to a little apartment where Yes, my bed just bloody moved. Felt like something pushed my bed. Anyway, I'm gonna start talking now, because I think I've just about lost my train of thought. And it felt like something just pushed my bed. Crapping invisible stuff. Yeah, but anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, my jobs is a big thing. I'm getting like really old and I don't want to work and I'm still yet to earn any money, so if I was living in that other place I could have done something better, bigger, to try and get some income going. It'll risk my life, but I don't know, I mean, I'm kind of in the toilet a little bit, but I can do that later in a couple of years when I'm ready to move again. But at the moment, I'm just sitting here until the world turns normal and I can do stuff again and assess where my jobs are and assess what I want to do and whatnot. So I'll recoup that later. But yeah. But I finally I do feel like I'm still being stalked though. Like here, like people show up at the door. I've been opening the door to people with brown eyes and puppy dog eyes. So there's a few instances where I've opened the door and it's similar looking kind of person, a couple of times a guy, and one time a girl, are at the door and I'm like going, but I'm not really appreciating, I I still feel like I'm in the throes of some sort of weird thing with my family, so I don't tell them everything, I want to keep something secret, but if I have a job opportunity, I usually say that I do have one, but I feel bad for missing a job opportunity last year because I feel like I've been let down by some sort of plan, and I don't like who I'm living with, and I don't like the people down the street because I feel like they combined into some sort of plan against me, and I missed the job interview because I wasn't dragging my feet slowly to the job interview. I was waiting for someone to come here, and then by the end, I was going to be late for the job interview, so I didn't bother going, and then it's like, I missed it, so. And then they're like, oh, come on, this was your big thing, and ever since, I can't get a job with them, any other interviews with them and stuff, so I felt like I missed out on a big one. and I think they do too. That they helped to kick me off a big one, and I think it was some sort of little plan, conspiracy. So I wasn't really appreciative of that, and I don't appreciate my own thoughts about that stuff. And yeah, that was like one of those weird days where I was under a lot of stress because I wasn't sure what on earth I'd be meeting, and I was uncertain about it. I mean, I just hear, oh, there's a private concierge at the on the top floor, and I'm like going, oh, what the hell's that? Some sort of weird security that's going to turn into some evil security sometimes. So I have all these weird thoughts that are popping off in my head because there's some sort of weird introductions of something. Um, so I'm sort of always popping bullets until I'm comfortable with what on earth I'm meeting, sort of thing. A lot of times I get pretty comfortable pretty quickly, and by the end, haven't been harmed in any ways, but that's why I sort of freak out at certain job interviews. Like I'm already freaking out about them and haven't even left the house yet. So, but I'll have to just forget about it. It probably was a huge opportunity, but I missed it. So whatever, and you know, um, so I'm considering picking up this bloody work from home, job, but it's going to cost me a bundle of money just so I can be affiliated with a company that has money. And so I'm just going, fuck it. I mean, I'm just going, screw it. I'll just, send off the money and see how this, business opportunity develops. And I'm like, yeah, I think that, but then I freeze and I'm like, I don't really want to lose this money. And then it's like, I have to be in the right frame of mind. Like, I have to be like, totally just ready to throw off a bundle of money to do it. Otherwise, I really need that money, you know. But if the opportunity works out and it makes me money, it's like, oh, cool. It's only just a small bit of money, but if it doesn't make me money, I'd be like, that was my money. I could have bought like a diamond necklace or something with it, something extravagant, a pearl necklace with diamonds on it. So, yeah, so I mean, that's what I sort of want to do lately because I'm seeing that the person I live with has affiliated with a relative of mine to work together in some sort of business relations in some sort of company, and they're just parading around me like, oh, I've got so much stuff to do, and this business stuff is so cool and whatnot, and I'm just stuck here like, my head's twirling around and I'm hardly even thinking, because I don't have any affiliations with any kind of business to keep me busy. So so that's why I say, well, I'm going to just spend a bundle of money to get affiliated with this other business and see how that goes, and have some sort of external business relationship that I have no idea about, but whatever, and if it's a scam, I'll be like, you know, I'm using one of my good bank accounts yet again because I lost my secondary bank account with my last scam. So, and so I'll be using one of the things that I use all the time. And if that screws it up, then I'll be pissed off because I'm hitting my real bank accounts now. I've got 3, so and so I would be very happy if it's some sort of thing that screws up my bank account. But if it doesn't, I'll be like going, well, I get affiliated with some other business and I'm doing some kind of company business too, where I have to do phone meetings every day because, I'm just so busy and stuff. So, yeah, so, and that's besides possible job opportunities, too. So, yeah, that's sort of my thoughts about that. So that's sort of why I'm liking to do it, because everyone else is like, oh, I'm so business minded and I'm affiliated with some business that's rotating business on a daily basis. And I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything, but if I get affiliated with this, I'll be affiliated with something, and then I'll be business minded too, you know, whatever. So, but I would just want to hope that it works out so that I can, at least get my money back, which may or may not happen. So, yeah.